19th. We'd like to get started. I am Vince DeBella. To my far left, I have Ms. Michelle Dalkey, Mr. Michael Clement, Ms. Lisa Hudson, Ms. Suzanne Johnson, Ms. Shelley Allen, and Mr. Steve Ikeda. Thank you for being here. If you want to speak on any item on tonight's agenda, please fill out a blue card at the back of the room and provide it to staff. I have a short introduction video for your pleasure.
Welcome to the City of Mesa Planning and Zoning Board meeting. We appreciate your interest in the future development of our community and welcome your comments. At this time, we ask you to turn off or select the vibrate option on your mobile devices. Today's agenda includes a consent agenda. These items will be read into the record and acted on in one motion. If you would like to speak on any of these items, please fill out a blue card located in the back of the room and bring it to the front. The items will then be removed from the consent agenda and voted on individually. Each case will be introduced by city staff, then the applicant, followed by public comments. The Planning and Zoning Board makes recommendations to the City Council and votes on each case. City Council meetings are held twice a month at 5:45 p.m. in the council chambers. Visit mesaaz.gov to view their meeting schedule. All planning and zoning meetings are broadcast live and rebroadcast on Mesa Channel 11. To view the programming schedule, visit mesachannel11.com.
Great, thank you. Any other blue cards, staff? No? All right, next item on the agenda is consider meeting minutes from the October 14th and 15th study session and regular hearings. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. Please vote.
I actually wasn't here.
Okay, that's fine. There's motion passes. Thank you. We do have a request to speak on case Z14-54. It was on consent. That will be removed from the consent agenda, and we'll hear the presentation on that case after the next item.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If that comes off, we also need to remove item F2, which is related to preliminary plat.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, you have that? All right, so Ms. Michelle Dalkey has volunteered to read the consent agenda. Thank you.
Item D1, case Z1450 in District 3, 2110 and 2120 West Southern Avenue, located on the north side of Southern Avenue, approximately 1.6 acres. This is a site plan review and modification to allow for the development of a drive-through restaurant in an existing retail center. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item D2, case Z1451, District 3, 2015 South Alma School Road, located south of Baseline Road on the east side of Alma School Road, approximately 0.8 acres. This is a site plan modification to allow for a building renovation and expansion. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item E1, case Z1452, District 3, 2628 West Birchwood Avenue, located north of Broadway Road and east of the Loop 101 freeway, approximately 1.7 acres. This request will allow for the subdivision of an existing business park. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item E2, KZ 1453, District 6, the 8200 to 8400 blocks of East Ray Road, north and south side, located west of the northwest and southwest corners of East Ray Road and South Hawes Road, approximately 33 acres. This is a rezone from AGAF and LCPAD-AF to LCPAD-AF and modification to the PAD overlay. This will allow for the expansion of the Gateway Park PAD. Staff recommendation is approval with condition, subject to the revised stipulations per our earlier study session. Item E4 is KZ 1455, District 6, 10309 East Hampton Avenue, located south of Southern Avenue and east of Crisman Road, approximately 11.1 acres. This is a rezone from LI to LIBIZ and a site plan review to allow for the development of a medical center. Staff recommendation is continuance to the December 17th, 2014 meeting. Item E5, Case Z1456 in District 4, 457, 505, and 507 South Morris, located south of Broadway Road and east of Country Club, approximately 0.6 acres. This is a rezone from RM2 to LI to allow for the future expansion of a mechanical business. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item F1, Birchwood Business Park, District 3, 2628 West Birchwood, located north of Broadway Road and east of the Loop 101 freeway, 1.7 acres approximately. This is a replat for the Birchwood Circle Business Center. Approval with conditions is the staff recommendation. And item F3, Rosemont Development, District 5, 1810 North Rosemont, located south of McKellips Road, west of Higley Road, approximately 1.2 acres. This is a preliminary plat for 3 commercial condo parcels. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
All right, please vote. Motion passes. All right. Okay, so item for consideration is case Z14-54. Staff, would you like to provide an overview?
Chairman, members of the board, this is a project, excuse me, in the 8900 blocks of East McKellips Road at the southwest corner of McKellips and Ellsworth. It's part of the Mountain Bridge subdivision. It involves 2 parcels of that subdivision, parcel 16 and parcel 13. Parcel 16 is at the immediate corner, and parcel 13 is behind there. We've previously reviewed parcel 13 and approved it, but the developer is proposing to adjust the boundary between parcels 13 and 16 and enlarge parcel 13 a little bit to add a little bit more to the residential area and reduce the size of the commercial corner that they have always planned for Ellsworth and McKellips Road. And so you see that slight change in acreage. So the request is to rezone parcel 13 from the LC PAD and the not LC, excuse me, RS15, there we go, PAD and RS35 PAD to make it all the RS15 PAD, and the immediate corner to rezone it from the RS35 PAD to, the request was for LC PAD, but in discussion with the applicant, that's being modified to be the NC PAD for that immediate corner. With the residential piece, they are having slightly smaller lots, but in trade for that, we are getting significant open space being maintained in that development, and several acres of natural deserts being retained, as well as about a little over 4 acres of revegetated desert they'll have there for over 7 acres of open space within the subdivision. They don't have any specific proposal at this point for the commercial corner. It'll be about 3 acres in size. This corner has been planned for commercial development for many years, going back to some of the original planning back in the late 80s, and that's continued on through the Mountain Bridge proposals and just now getting to the subdivision or to the actual zoning of this piece per those early plans. They're wanting to get it entitled so that they can begin to work more actively with developers to pick the exact development that will occur on the property. When they do have the specific development, they'll come back to the board for site plan review of that commercial corner.
Any questions, board members? Can you just briefly describe the change from LC to NC and what that means?
Yes, Chairman, members of the board. LC compares to the former C2 zoning district. It's our main, the LC is one of the main commercial districts we have around town. It allows a pretty wide range of uses for standard retail and gas stations and those types of things. The NC is a neighborhood commercial. It's a little bit more restricted and doesn't allow some of those uses that may not be appropriate in this area. For instance, the service stations would not be allowed. This will be the smaller, more neighborhood-oriented type retail uses that would go in the site.
Okay, great, thank you. Is the applicant present, and would you like to make a presentation or comment? Okay. We do have a request to speak. Mr. Philip Shub. Just please state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members. My name is Philip Schub. My address is 1852 North Red Cliff, no road or drive. And that's in Mountain Bridge. I'm part of the resident of the development in Mountain Bridge. One of the residents that received the letter as being within 500 feet of this area. Our rear of our home is approximately 300 feet from the building area and maybe 200 feet from the beginning of the road area that will give access to the residential and commercial units there. And I've been a Blandford homeowner before moving to Mountain Bridge at Lascendis and have been very happy with Blandford construction and their good taste in doing things and their quality of building. And I have no objection to their development behind where I live. My only request would be because of the elevations, and also I don't know if they're going to be raising the sites for the homes to be built on, that the residential area, which was expanded from its original roughly 3-acre allotment to 6 acres, now becomes right behind us. And I would just like to make a request that they might limit the homes to one-story, single-story level homes at 200, 300 feet. That'll make a big difference in our lovely view of the Usery Mountains and the site, natural site behind us. I believe they did something similar to this. The area that's affected by this development is the community called Entrada, which are villas that face the commercial and new residential building area. On the other side of Entrada, there's another neighborhood that was just built after Entrada had been started called Cortabella. And I believe they did limit those homes to be single-family, single-level structures because the people were affected that were living on the south side. This is the north side of that existing parcel of Entrada. And I look forward to it. Wish Mr. Blandford all the best, and I'm sure it'll be a great addition to Mesa, but I'd like to see it stay low. Thank you very much.
Any questions of Mr. Schub? Sorry, I pronounced your name incorrectly.
Oh, no problem.
Mr. Arquito?
Okay, so your main objection would be to limit the homes to one story, is that correct, on the subdivision?
That's correct.
Okay. We don't have any site plans for that yet. I mean, we have a general site plan, but not the building plans or anything, do we?
You do have the site plan. It's on page 193.
Well, that's site plans, but
that shows the lot layout. You don't have the product in here.
yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sorry, the
We
product.
were advised that they could consist of 1- and 2-story homes, which is fine, and depending on, actually, as I understand the loop, there's it's a kind of a semicircle. The road and the units that would be closer to Entrada would be the southern part of the loop, and then it would go around and be a northern part. I have no objection if the northern part were 2 stories, as long as the ones that were closest to the Entrada were one stories. It would just give you a more gradual incline to your line of sight.
What about the commercial end? Do you have any concerns about that part?
No, not terribly. I'm pleased that it's going to be a little bit smaller, and from the sounds of what they have in mind, I think it sounds like a very good use of the space. And again, because it'll be smaller, it won't be quite as much in direct view of our rear acreage or rear frontage, or rearage, if would be the word. And I know that was going to be commercial, possibly 1 or 2 level or 1 level with architectural peaks that, for entryways or some such thing. And I'm overall pleased with the plan and just would like to see the aesthetics maintained as best possible.
Okay.
If
I had a
the
quick
southern
question, too.
bordering.
Is your home and the homes around you all one story?
Excuse me?
Is your home and all the homes around you all one story?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else? Ms. Delkey?
Mr. Wesley, do we have an aerial that we could show up here so I could just get a perspective of maybe where Mr. Shube lives compared to?
Okay. I have one of the original site plans.
So on your, I don't know if he's located directly south or but. Well, I do have a question. I'm curious about that development to the south, where the homes are located relative to their property versus the development under consideration to the south portion of that. There seems to be quite a bit of separation between homes in that area relative to there's a green space or a trail space or something in between. Do we have a feel for how much kind of distance we're looking at there?
Applicant could probably
Okay.
describe that best.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. If you look right up there at the very point of Entrada, that's the right there. 3 lots down is Mr. Shube's home right there, right? 3? Yes. Yeah. I did meet with all of those neighbors personally, also outside of the neighborhood meeting where most people came to. From the back of Mr. Shube's home to the back of a parcel 13 home is almost 400 feet between the homes. That's a very, very big wash right there. And if you look at the map underneath, the other map you had that shows, you can see the top of Entrada. See, right here. About 3 lots down. So there's a really big wash that runs between the two. When we did meet, I did mention that about 75% of the homes at Blandford Mills in Mountain Bridge are single story. And a lot of those lots are smaller lots that back straight back down towards Mr. Shube. So there's a very good chance there would be single stories there. versus 2. But the series that we are putting there is the Craftsman series, and it has single and 2-story homes. One thing that we did here is by squeezing the commercial a little bit and pushing the homes a little bit more to the east, there's less commercial behind Mr. Shub's. And that commercial, right now, we've got some 1- and 2-story elements to it. It's easily as high as a 2-story home, the commercial is. And I believe we could have gone even higher than that. So I think the impact in the end is going to be much less than Mr. Shub is thinking. Plus the homes, obviously you've got side yard setbacks. It's a lot toothier. When you look, if there was a 2-story home, you're going to see right past it to the views that he wants to see on the other side. If the commercial was there, which he's happy it's not, that commercial could have a very large linear, building that could be in front of his view. So it's kind of a compromise to both sides, and that was my answer at the meeting to Mr. Shub. So we would like to be able to put 2 stories. I think that, that's what was going to go there all along, and but the chances are much better that they're going to be single story anyways, because that's what we mainly sell.
And you haven't determined yet?
Not at all. That only gets done at the time of selling the homes.
And then is that site, the parcel 13 site, relatively speaking, final grades and that type, is it much higher, about the same?
It's got, all of Mountain Bridge is a couple of feet higher, 2, sometimes 3 feet higher, because those washes are all very shallow washes. So by building the subdivisions with all the open space in between, we end up having to build them up a little bit to actually create washes, and we have expensive scour walls and everything that go along these wash areas. So yes, it will come up a little bit, but pretty much in the same plane as Mr. Shuby's, because his lots are up a little bit too to protect him from that wash that's to the north. So it's just going to be like the same plane heading up the existing grade that you see now.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody? Any further discussions? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Z1454.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Please vote. Motion carries. And Mr. Clement, for some reason your clicker's not working there, but
It's a yes.
yes. All right. Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Item F2, which is the companion case for the plat.
I'll make a motion to approve item F2, Seville at Mountain Bridge, parcel 13, plat.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Please vote. Motion carries, and I assume, Mr. Clement, you're in the affirmative. All right.
He broke it. He
All
broke
right.
the button.
Thank you. There's a few more items left on the agenda.
So no discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Wesley, do we have to go over major plan amendments? No? Okay. Any other business? Motion to adjourn? Somebody?
Motion to adjourn. I'll second that.
All right. Meeting is ended. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.